Hi everyone, this is Marek with Trademark Realty. I would like to take you on a journey of the rent stabilized buildings. We're getting a lot of questions from the prospective buyers. Are those buildings vacant? Each six family is a rent stabilized building. Can I increase the rents? So in the next few moments, I would like to answer those questions. So what I did, I prepared a simple presentations. I divided it into 3 points. First point, it's a history behind it. Second point, it's a current market situation. And the third step, what do you have to do to qualify to buy that building? Or as the seller, what do you need to know in order approve the offer from one of the buyers? So let's dive in. Rent stabilized buildings, they had to be built before 1971. Either though some of the new construction, they also rent stabilized because the city gave the tax abatement. So the builder, they have to give the rent stabilization for that building. So at majority of the buildings, 6 units built before 1971, they are rent stabilized. And how that stuff was evolving. Before 1990, I had many owners, actually many people that bought those buildings just to live in because it was much cheaper to buy in those buildings than the 2 or 3 family. So they were actually buying those buildings and the tenants were helping them to pay the rents. But at the same time, you had to take the risk. You had to deal with the tenants. You had to register the building. You had to go to the Department of Buildings, register the rents. You had to register building with HPD. And you have to do a lot of stuff just to accommodate that. But at the same time, you were getting basically good building, run down a little bit, and you had to make it happen. So later on, you actually benefited. So after 1990, they came up with the new laws. So you were able to evict the tenants, increase the rents, do the vacancy allowance. So suddenly those buildings, they were doubling in the pricing. So that was happening to the last year. And last year, that law expires. So suddenly, everything reverted back to the era before 1990. So and right now I'm finding a lot of people who actually wants to buy those buildings because they're getting much cheaper, and some areas cheaper than 2 or 3 family buildings. So pay attention. So that's a good point. So good point to invest. Second step is the current market situation. As I explained before, you look what you get from the building. You have to know current income on the building. You cannot evict the tenants. You have to keep those tenants. And another stuff, you have to keep the building registered. You have to take care of everything. There is a HPD department in the city, and also DOB, and also rent stabilization unit. So you have to do everything correctly. And when you register the building, you should have the form like this. And you go sometimes 20 years with the form. You see, this is the current rents, how it looks. You have a preferred rent and a legal rent. You have to know preferred rent right now is the legal rent. So how everything is evolving right now, I think the prices are dropping on a 6 family. They make it more affordable. A while back, before 2019, people buying buildings with the 3 to 4% cap. It depended on the area. What's the cap? Cap, that's a net operating income divided by the selling price. So if you have more money going in and lower price, obviously the cap will be higher. So people in that time, they were buying a building with 3 to 4% cap. If you're buying with the lower cap, you had to buy it with the more solid neighborhood. If you were buying with the higher cap, you were buying in more risk areas, you know, at that time, maybe East New York, maybe parts of Harlem or in the Bronx. So in the last year, everything has reverted. So the buildings, you know, with the rent stabilization, they went actually on a cap rate. So instead of 3 to 4% cap rate, right now you can buy those buildings with 6, even 7% cap rate. What instead, you know, it's like your affordability. And you buy in those buildings sometimes cheaper than the 2 and 3 family in the area. Let's take, for instance, I'm going to show you very quick what's happened when you buy in a building with the income $50,000 net income. So for example, you have a net income $50,000, and right now the banks, what they do, they looking to have about 20% cushion, some of them 10% cushion after you buy everything else. So you also have to add 10% off maintenance and vacancy allowance. So suddenly your building is worth with the annually income $45,000. As I mentioned, the bank is looking about 20% off. So suddenly you're gonna subtract $9,000. So in that moment, your income is $36,000, you know, on the building for the bank calculation. And next step, what does the bank do? You divide it into 12. So 12 divided by 12. So your income is in that point about $3,000. How much you can get in a loan for $3,000? I would say with the 4% interest rate, I would say about $630,000 your loan amount. So if somebody is selling the building for $1 million, you have to put $370,000 down payment just to qualify to buy that building. And this is with the 5% cap rate. So what happened when the cap rate goes up? Let's make it the cap rate was 6%. So same building with 6% cap rate would cost you around $833,000, and income to down payment on that building, nothing changes, but your down payment, instead of $370,000, suddenly you have to come up with $205,000 as a down payment to buy the building at the $833,000. So I hope that information is helpful. So if you have any more questions, don't hesitate to give me a ring. You can call me at the 718-502-5141, and my company name is Trademark Realty. We're here to help you. Okay, I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.